Greetings, sisters and brothers. So today is the 22nd of February, 2026. The so-called Ugandan elections occurred on January the 15th, 2026. If you go to the website of the so-called Election Commission, which is ec.or.ug, you will see that almost 2 months later, the results of the so-called election has not yet been posted. We're going into March almost, all right? They cannot even come up with credible lies, you know? In the world, you have lies, and then you have credible lies. Credible lies, what are credible lies? Credible lies are lies that are almost convincing. So the Election Commission, under Injustice Simon Byabakama, is unable to come up with a credible lie. And that's why the so-called results, which is an attempt by military dictator General Museveni and deputy military dictator imbecile Muhoozi Kainerugaba, their continuing attempt to steal the election from Robert Kyagulanyi, aka Bobby Wine, is coming into some roadblocks. Think about it. They know that they will not be able to post results from all of the polling stations in Uganda. They can't. So they cannot even validate the steal. You see? You go to the website. Anybody watching me, and I have to give credit to Dr. Nico, who, of course, is a renowned activist on behalf of NOOP member in the Netherlands. He pointed this out on his tweet, I believe it was yesterday or the day before. So this is a challenge to the BBC, which already coronated election thief Museveni as the so-called winner of the election. So BBC, don't you think this is an issue of interest? Should you not ask Injustice Byabakama, why is it that several weeks after the January election, we're heading into March now, the results of the presidential election are not posted on the official website of the Election Commission? Or perhaps Byabakama is not willing to validate and put his name on a lie that is so incredible that it has no credibility at all. So my challenge to the BBC, many of us are beginning to suspect that you are partisan and propagandist on behalf of General Museveni and imbecile General Muhoozi. My challenge to you is to do a story on this issue. And for the rest of us, Ugandans, who will not and cannot be fooled, we know who won those elections. Robert Kyagulanyi, aka Bobby Wine. And since now the two dictators, Museveni and Muhoozi, have exposed themselves naked to the world, that they cannot even get their own hand-picked election commission to validate their lie, we continue to urge the outside world, without whose financing this regime cannot survive, not to give them a single penny. We're talking about the World Bank, talking about the IMF, We're talking about the EU countries, and I have to commend the EU members of parliament who roundly recently condemned in their speeches in parliament that this was not an election, but this was a military operation in Uganda. So they must be commended for that. But now we have to go all the way. Not a single euro, not a pound, not a dollar to this illegitimate regime of dictator Museveni and dictator Muhoozi. Thank you, sisters and brothers.